All right, we'll just do a couple more examples here, and that ought to be sufficient. Let's go ahead and do part B in number 4. We want the coefficient, just the coefficient of x cubed in the expansion of 2x squared minus 3 over x to the 6th power. The key here is figuring out which term we actually want to find. So what I'm going to do at first is ignore all the coefficients, ignore even the 2 and the 3 in A and B, and I'm just going to look at the powers of x. Alright, so for our first term, x squared is going to be raised to the 6th power. And then we're going to have x squared to the 5th power. And if you notice what's happening, we have x to the 12th, then x to the 10th, and it's going to continue going down by 2 as we go to the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st power. So x to the 8th, x to the 6th, x to the 4th, x squared. Our last term will not have any of those x's from A. But now if we look at B, notice the 1 over x, because as you can see there are no x cubes just using A. But we have this 3 over x here that will actually cancel out some of those. So we're going to start on the left-hand side. There aren't any x's in our denominator. And then we're going to start on our second term. It'll be negative 3 over x raised to the 1st power, so that'll just be over x. And then here's over x squared, over x cubed, over x to the 4th, over x to the 5th, and the last one would be over x to the 6th. But we have what we're looking for because we want the coefficient of that x to the 3rd. Well, we're going to get that right here because this x cubed will cancel out 3 of those 6 x's and give us x cubed in the numerator. So that is, we have 1, 2, 3, that's our 4th term. So we're actually finding term 4. And now we can get our coefficients. Alright, 6, choose 1 less than the term number is 3. Okay, we're going to have 2x squared, and we have the negative 3 over x. Alright, the negative 3 over x will be raised to the 3rd power. 6 minus 3 is 3, so that's what A is raised to as well. And now we can actually find what the coefficient is. Alright, 6 choose 3. If you calculate that out, we have 20, and then 2 cubed is 8, and there's our x to the 6th we knew we were going to get. And then here, negative 3 to the 3rd is a negative 27 over x cubed. So the x cubed cancels that out, and we have x cubed in their numerator. Then we can simplify, and really all we need is the coefficient, because that's what the problem asked us for. Be careful to pay attention to whether they're asking for a coefficient or just a term. Alright, so as we multiply that out, we have 20 times 27 times, negative 27 times 8, and that gives us a negative 4,320. Of course it's x cubed, but our answer is negative 4,320. Right. So, again, you have to use a little bit of logic and figure out exactly which term you're looking for first. Then you can find just the term, just that term. But you never have to expand the entire thing out. All right, let's do one more of these. We'll go ahead and look at A. So let's look at A. We want the the coefficient of x to the 10th and the expansion of 3 plus 2x squared to the 10th. You might be tempted at first to say, oh, x to the 10th, I want, the 10th term. But notice here x is squared, so we're going to need to figure out which term will actually give us the x to the 10th. So in our first term, there are no x's, it's just 3 to the 10th power. In our second term, we've got the 2x squared, that's going to be to the first power. Then we have the 2x squared, which is going to give us an x to the fourth. The 2x squared to the third power is going to give us an x to the sixth. The 2x squared to the fourth power will give us x to the eighth. And 2x squared to the fifth power, that's where we're going to get our x to the 10th power that we're looking for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're finding term number 6. Alright, so notice I ignored A. As I was doing this, I ignored all the binomial coefficients. All we cared about was getting that power of x equal to 10. Now I'll go back for just this term and find the coefficient. Alright, so x squared was raised to the fifth power, that's how we got an x to the 10th. The 2 also needs to be raised to the fifth power, and that's 32. But we also have a, which is 3. 3 is going to be raised to the fifth power because 10 minus this 5, this is our r, 5. So 10 minus 5 is this 5, okay? And then we also have a 10 choose 5, because again, r was 5, in the front of this, okay? So we know this is going to be x to the 10th. We have to calculate all this out. 10 choose 5. Divided by okay, that's 252 times 3 to the 5th is 243. Okay, we need some more room here because we have that 32. Don't lose that. Okay, so times 32 times 243, and we get 1959552. Okay, 1,959,552. That's the coefficient we're looking for. Okay? Alright, if you have a question on 7, feel free to ask. I'm not going to run through a whole one there, but that's a good challenge problem because you have to consider the power you want, in this case x to the 6th, and what you have to remember is that these terms here, the 2 and the minus x, are going to be distributed to the expansion of this. Alright, so since 2 is a constant, you're going to look for the term of this expansion that already has the x to the 6th and multiply it by 2. But then because this has an x, you're going to find the term in the expansion here that has an x to the 5th and multiply it by the negative x. And then you can add those two together. Those will both be x to the 6th then, and you can add them together to get the term that you're looking for. Okay, but I'm not going to do the entire example. All right, I hope this is helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions.